they're bringing them here. So I'm thinking about going a lot closer. I think I might go closer. Since they're just putting it over here, maybe we can, I'm gonna go a lot closer. All right, everybody, just getting into position here. They got these trucks here, so we're going to have some fun. All right, good stuff, guys. Good stuff. See how they bring it in, and possibly get a shot so we can see how they offload it as well. Maybe I'll get it from that red truck area over there. Let's see what we got here. Okay, just a minute here. Getting into position here. All right. We got some wind too. It's a windy time right now. Yeah, there could be water deluge, I guess, Paul. Good thought there. So we're here at the main gate. They have moved back this these white things are moving back toward the part of the road where I am at. Yeah, there's Lab Podger's cam is there too, yeah. See, they've made room here. I think maybe these trucks are going to come along the left side of the road here. So we'll, I kind of imagine that crane in the back there, holding that crane back there, I think that may be used to offload these tanks here. Maybe that's what that load spreader, probably a load spreader on the back there. On that big crane is probably a load spreader, I imagine. We got, so we have some wind, not much wind, but it is nice temperatures, and see how the day goes. I'm trying not to get these guys on camera, but it's a little bit unavoidable. Gotta tighten my belt here. Okay, just a minute. All right. See how they're gonna pull into the main gate here. It's kind of I'm wondering how they're gonna do this, because this truck is very big. Maybe they'll back it in. I assume maybe they'll back it in. 95 feet long. Thanks, Tony. All right, the weather is cloudy, temperatures of 85 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. The wind is from the south at 24 kilometers. And 79% humidity. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's that windy, but maybe it is. We got some walls are here. There's some walls here blocking the wind, so. Get these guys on camera too. The Starship gears are over there. Hey Steven, nice to see you. It's good to be able to get this shot where I was wondering if I was going to be able to be out here during this time. If you haven't seen it, I did post a video by somebody in the community chat. It is June 10th, 2023. But there's a good video I was almost finished watching by Galen Windsor. All right, it's moving. Got a portal on the bottom there. Check that out. It's got some type of an entryway or something. I kind of lean on the side just because of that entryway that maybe this is a yeah, I'm not gonna say, but that entryway is a little bit interesting. History in the making right here. That's bigger than like a presidential entourage. So the thought here is that they will back this in, is what I'm thinking. Everything. Here we're gonna move. apologize for that. If need be, I'm going to have to move if they need to back up and everything, but I think we're good. Yeah, the load spreader is on the crane. Yeah, cool, right on. Thinking the same thing there. They're preparing the way. They're preparing the way to go back into the gate here. We're gonna get this shot as they go in. This thing has hydraulics actuators on the back there, right there. We can see right there is some steering mechanism for the back part. Each section looks to have that type of hydraulic thing on it. We got one up there, we got another one on the other part, and the very beginning of it has a third set of hydraulic actuators. Linear actuators, actually. If the driver were to tune into Space Ocean Corp, he could get a good shot of how it looks as he's going into the gate. If anyone knows the driver, let them know. Check out the channel and you'll get a really good rear view picture. Hey, Martin. Now that that tank is there, they've blocked the wind considerably, so there is near zero wind from the south at the moment. Once that tank is clear, the wind will come back through and we'll get some wind. We're not sure what it is for yet. Maybe somebody here knows. Let us know what it is for. Kind of close to the side of the gate, but they're making it forward. They are doing it. They did a good job here. They could have, it could have been a different outcome. They've done a really good job backing this in. This could be like a, you know, like a Pez dispenser. If they had a rocket capable of holding that tall of a volume, I think I think it's about 20 feet of space or so much vertical. It's a 30-foot diameter, but it's about 20 or so. What's the volume, length and width, height of the Starship, the carrying capacity? This tank we're looking at here, it kind of reminds me of, if it were a little shorter possibly and a little wider diameter, it might be the correct size. I'm always thinking about Enceladus and the type of volume we could fit on a Starship. There's a second truck coming down the road too, so we're gonna get to see this a second time. It's coming down right now. And I believe they have the crane ready to go over this tank here and lift it off of the truck. So I think we'll get to see that as well today. The date is June 10th, 2023. It's a Saturday. Let's think it's still, let's see what time it is. Just a minute. 10:09 in the morning. Okay, LD Sloan says it'd be nice to maybe just land a Falcon 9 here and use that as the tanks. Wow, good idea. First stage. I will also say we do have space debris from the launch pad over there. If you like, check it out, the eBay, and the link in the description. There's a link to the eBay store where we have some different stones and stuff like that for sale from the first launch of the Starship over there. And that keeps us going here. And there's a second truck coming down the road here, so that'll be happening next, I believe. So. Let me see, any questions in the chat? Okay, let me, also, this is like a commercial break here. There's a second truck coming, but we have different sizes of this pad debris. We have 2 small pieces of debris for like $65. We have the larger hand-sized debris for about $95 or so, and then we have the like volume-sized full boxes of debris for $119, I believe it is. You get like a 30 to 34 pounds flat rate box, priority mail, and that ships international. I didn't think it would ship international, so. But somebody did buy the flat rate large box, and I shipped it international. International shipping, eBay charges additional, so none of that international extra money comes to us at Space Ocean Corp, but it does get shipped internationally. And this is my private YouTube channel because eBay has not switched it over to the business account. So I like to brand it as Space Ocean Corp, but it's still private. At that point where I'm able to change the tax information here at the eBay store, and also on YouTube to the Space Ocean Corp EIN, then at that point it'll be the actual business. But I'm promoting the business simultaneous as promoting Space Ocean Corp here. So, but we have that. We also have the parts of some of the a Starship or a booster. We're not sure where the metal's from. So we got some heavy pieces of metal that are for sale too, 3-inch or 7.5 inch, and you could use it as a bottle opener too. I've used it as to open a couple cans because it's got like a laser cut pattern on it, and some of the pieces that we cut have enough space where you can use it as a bottle opener. So I've done that myself too. All right, back to the show here. Link in the description for the eBay stuff. All right, I'm gonna move closer to the road here. They moved up the cones closer to the road after doing it the first time. I guess they figured out they can they don't have to have them so far back. So let's see how far away that second truck is and see what's happening there. They're still doing a lot of work on the road. They've moved the road closures near the build site further back toward the Brownsville side, but they are still working on the road. So we're seeing volleys. I think the word is volley, V-O-L-L-E-Y, volleys of cars and trucks come by in groups. It'll be like nothing for a while, and then we'll get to see a lot of vehicles coming by. I think due to that road closure. I'll get some close-up shots here. There was a gentleman in Texas that ordered some debris 2 days ago, so that was good. A little bit of cash came in. I am looking at, I think the people who are offering me the job up in Iowa, I said they pushed it back till the end of this month instead of next week. So it looks like I will be here another 2 weeks, but we'll see what happens. If the orders picked up here, I would have the opportunity to stay, but I got to get work somewhere. So let's see. Yeah, it is a guarantee that if no sales happen here, I will have to stop filming within this month and get a job somewhere. So, yeah, it's temporarily good, but it's not going to last if we don't have any sales or other income come in. So, I am going to stop filming if no funds happen sometime before the end of this month. I would ask, is anyone else watching by the build site? I know there's a second truck over there with a second one of these large tanks on it. Is that still over at the Starbase sign, or has it started down the road yet? In case you haven't watched it, the Windsor, Galen Windsor, was talking about how radioactive material is not as harmful as the nuclear what is it called, industry would like you to believe. Such that if you have a exposure to uranium in a certain area, it doesn't cost $10 million to clean it up. You can just clean it up with a broom and put it back in a container, and then you're good to go. But a lot of people like to waste money, and there's a lot of corruption when it comes to the radioactive elements. And a lot of people have chosen to use that area to siphon away money from the public sector. So. There's also, it's said that the low radioactive waste is often disposed of and is not checked before it's disposed of. So these large barrels with low-level radioactive waste, you could label anything that you would like as low-level radioactive waste, put it in one of these barrels, hand it over to the appropriate authorities, and they would not check what's inside. And apparently, a lot of the criminals will hide things in those barrels, and it'll be out of sight and out of mind for into the foreseeable future. So it's a good way that criminals can use to hide stuff. So even though you might think, look at all that nuclear waste and all those barrels of radioactive waste in that area over there, there's a good chance that a lot of that is just stuff people don't want you to know about. Because those barrels are not checked. Once it gets the radioactive sticker, then it's good to go. You're in the clear. So when you see people lobbying to have radioactive waste kept sealed into the thousands of years, or at least into a couple hundred years ahead, it's not so much for safety as it is for lineage and prosperity of certain people who have done shady things. Yep, check it out. All right, Ye says these tanks came from a steel mill in Ohio. They were installed as vertical tanks from the other chat. All right, good to know. The other tank's not moving yet. Thanks. Next launch is forecast. Ian, there was a thing that came out yesterday. Maybe by the end of this year. Next launch is by the end of this year. Yeah, Martin, this is a military site here. We're looking at a military organization. SpaceX is a military contractor, so unless you're have a special security clearance or you're in the you're hired by them, you can't go and do anything or talk with them. So run as like a military organization here. Yeah, they also like to hire young people because young people are not as smart, and they'll follow orders. So. They hire a lot of Mexicans too. As it could also be said that as Elon Musk does not believe in the soul, this is a soulless organization. It's a purely engineering organization here. No soul here at SpaceX. It's just all numbers and ones. Data and testing. No soul. They're moving it to the back where the large crane is, back to the left, because they're going to lift it off of the truck, I believe, with the load spreader waiting just in the back there. I'm going to reposition the camera so we get that shot. Oh wow, it's raising up the load spreader. Good stuff. Right in time. Apologize for that. You know, sand, if you were to build a house on sand, it would not be a solid house. So science is kind of like sand. It's they don't have any real truth. When you look at the soul, when you have experience as soul, well, then you can build on that. So science is like building on sand, because every year, every discovery, they change things. But when you have soul, then you're on solid footing. You don't need any you don't need peer review when it comes to soul. It's instantly apparent. When you experience soul, you know it 100%. Those who don't know anything about the soul are essentially fools. You're welcome. Thanks, Michael, Jeffrey. Anyway, when you experience what I'm talking about, or maybe you already do, you will support and enthusiastically support what I'm talking about here. I'll get a zoomed out shot too, because earlier today we saw the chopsticks raise up. I believe they raised them up out of the way, so that's why I believe we have the chopsticks way up high and out of the way. And maybe they're gonna swing this tank somewhere. We'll see. It's coming into position. Hey Ian, passing away from Parkinson's, huh? Well, that's something. Check out that book, We Want to Live by Agnes van der Planets. If you want to live a lot longer, maybe that book will help you out. Some people like to just suffer in their illness, and that's a matter of choice. I don't want to interfere with your choice, but I found some good stories in that book. We Want to Live by Agnes van der Planets. In the very back, he has a bunch of different stories you can read. You might find Parkinson's listed there somewhere. Hey, Starship Trooper. Some of my favorite things to do to stay healthy, everybody's body is different, is to make a egg smoothie a raw egg smoothie with maybe some unpasteurized protein powder from Garden of Life. Possibly, if I have access to it, get some raw cow milk. Raw unpasteurized cow milk is one of my favorite things to eat and or to drink, with all the heavy cream on top, because apparently the uncooked heavy milk that you'll find in a cow milk or goat milk it's 5 times smaller than cooked fat. So once you cook the fat, it gets a lot more flabby. But the raw, unpasteurized, uncooked fat is like much smaller. So if you like to eat a certain amount of fat, you can eat the same amount of fat but not get fat because it's so small, you know? Yeah. Looks like they're gonna lift off that tank from the transporter with that crane back there. Yeah, but I like to, when I have access to it, juice a lot of organic celery juice, a lot of organic cucumber juice, so that I have to go to the bathroom a lot. When you do those types of things, when I do those types of things, if I haven't been eating so healthy and I do that kind of stuff, it'll make me go to the bathroom. And some people might think, when I was learning yoga, they said, you know, you gotta detox, right? A lot of times people might think when you eat something and it makes you go to the bathroom, that's a bad food. It must have been bad. But if it's cleaning out if you have a vehicle, there's a story that Swami Satchidananda used to say. He said that you know, if you have a car and it has a lot of old grease in it, you got to put some new grease in there to push out the old grease. So that's one of the views I have when it comes to polyunsaturated fat, polysaturated fats, and all other types of harmful types of fats that just kind of sit in your body. If you want to push them out, I believe I need to eat some healthy, raw, much smaller size particle, molecular size fat, like cow fat or from the cow butter unpasteurized or the cow milk. And then when I do that, I'll probably have to go to the bathroom quite a bit, but I feel healthy. I have felt healthy in the past after doing that. So. It's you can't buy that unpasteurized heavy cream or unpasteurized unsalted butter or unpasteurized milk from any store here in the United States. You can't buy it because the different people who claim to know stuff about health have made it illegal, because I believe they want you to die faster. Here in the United States, we want people to die, so we make everything that's healthy illegal. So you know, if you're going to be healthy, the doctors can't make any money off you. So you got to be mildly, continuously unhealthy, and that's the best scenario for the doctors. And the best case scenario is if we have politicians who are corrupt, who don't care about your health, making health laws. That is the best case scenario, because not only will most people end up unhealthy, you know, it's a good, people will die more often. So. Yeah, it looks like they'll lift it up horizontally. Yep. Let me get a different shot here. Good on you. You know, Tony, I heard that I have heard that if you have some homemade beer with some raw honey in it, it's a little bit healthier than if you just get the pasteurized beer. When I want to get that type of thing that you might get from beer or something, there's something called Kombucha, and they have it packs a kick. It's got a little kick to it. So I don't know if you've ever tried Kombucha, but it's pretty big here in the United States. And it does have a very small amount of fermentation to it as well. So that's kind of a frosty way to have a nice drink, cold drink, and it's still not be so bad for you. You know, I've never seen anyone do this, but if someone were to make a kombucha and use magic mushrooms, maybe that Scooby made out of some Psilocybe cubensis mushroom Scooby. I wonder if that even exists. Does anyone know? Does anyone here know about one of those kombucha Scoobies made out of magic mushrooms? Now that would possibly be the ultimate. Maybe drop some toad venom in there too. Yeah, Martin, try it out. Let us know. Gotta pack some other stuff in there too, like some maybe in the Amsterdam, huh? All right. Holland, right? Maybe in California too. I think they've made everything illegal over there in California. Maybe someone who's trying it already. All right, the screen here is getting dark, so just a FYI, we're getting some heavy sunshine on the iPhone. If it overheats, then I gotta start carrying the umbrella. We'll see. Yeah, I haven't done any magic things in over 20 years. There is the capability of getting so high that everything else is small, inconsequential. And if you ever succeed in getting so high that everything else is the explanation of that is that the ability to differentiate and distinguish between things as a person on the earth is for the awareness is such a special thing that to erase the personality, to erase the person by using toxic substances is kind of going in reverse to the specialness of reality. You know, it takes so much effort to become a person or a personality within the whole universe that to erase the person, to erase the possibility to have awareness is so backward that once you get that perspective experience, as an awareness, having erased itself, you might never do it again. So I had that experience over 20 years ago. We got a lot of dust around here right now. Some dust on the lens too. I'm going to wipe off the lens just a minute. All right. Hey, so Chris, yep. Apparently, I don't know if some of you are interested in some of that stuff. You know, Mike Tyson has been speaking a lot about his use with toad venom, and within like a couple seconds you can be in a different dimension. He says he's been doing it multiple times for over a year now, and he's on YouTube. You can watch a bunch of his stuff if you'd like to get some. It sounds like it doesn't give him an ego death necessarily. It kind of tempts him with feeling of power, but it doesn't crush him. I think I'll keep it zoomed out until something happens. So Chris, only the one tank so far. The other one hasn't come down the road yet. Yeah, thanks. You know the channel? Yeah. Ocean, Space Ocean Corp.
Space Ocean.
Whatever. We've got a significant amount of wind here. Hey, Ian, thanks. Yeah, I own property here now, so I will be here for the next 50 years probably. Maybe not all the time, but so yeah, I'll be around here, maybe in some form. You know, what I can tell you is I'm going to zoom out and speak on the camera a little bit. This might be interesting to some of you. I've been thinking about whether I would share this or not, but I will share it. So currently the property north of Boca Chica is valued at $210 per 0.2 of an acre. And also about a mile to 2 miles toward the build site from here, behind us in that direction to your right, to my left, the properties are valued around $7,000 to $10,000. In the last 12 months, they've reassessed all the property in this area, and over the next 1 to 2 miles, they increased the assessed value by 33%. So the properties here over the last probably 5 years have gone up every year. So the assessed value. So as SpaceX continues to improve their launch capability here and everything else, and put in street lights and put in a lot of stuff, all these surrounding property is going to just keep going up in value. It's pretty nice if you own some property around here. If we look at the property around the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, it's the same type of wilderness type of thing. And a lot, I think 0.2 of an acre over there is worth about $140,000. So SpaceX has been buying property here for about $10,000 for 0.2 of an acre. And if you look at that over the next 5 years, it's probably going to go up quite a bit. Even the next, I don't know, you probably don't have to go that far into the future to see a significant increase in value of the land. So it's going to be interesting to see how this continues to go. If you had an investment where every year you got 30% compounding interest, that would be quite the investment. You know, you would be quite the investor to have that type of an investment. So it's going to be interesting to watch how the property values change here over the years. You're welcome. If you're wondering how Elon Musk and other people like him get so rich, there's your answer. All right, I'm gonna have to move the camera somewhere. We're getting some stuff coming in the way here. There we go. I've got to set up the tripod better. Just a minute. Let's see. There we go. All right, we're good to go. If you're looking to find out the properties in the area that might be for sale, there is a playlist on this channel called How to Buy Property in Boca Chica. And there's currently 4 videos in that playlist. So I've spelled out how to do it. Again, you could buy property to the east of Boca Chica Village for about $10,000 per lot. Some of the property owners don't know that SpaceX is buying the lots for $10,000, or they were a year ago for $10,000. But and they may ask you for $30,000 or $80,000 for their lots, and people will pay $80,000 for a lot. I talked with one gentleman who did, yep, prices are going up. One day it will be worth $80,000 at the assessed value, not the market value. So market value can be whatever you want it to be, but assessed value, it'll be $80,000 someday. You know, I was thinking about doing a video about this, but to the north of Boca Chica Village, there is a large swath of water. And I have paddled all the way out, all through that area. And it is continuously about 1 to 2 feet deep in that whole large area. It's many, many acres, probably over 100 acres of flooded property, about 1 to 2 feet deep of water where I was kayaking, and it's all the same depth. So if they wanted to close that off and dry it out, they could if they wanted to. So it wouldn't be too hard to do. But all that property in that area is at $210 for 2/10 of an acre. So about $100 for a tenth of an acre. So there is even a large area, several thousand acres, assessed at like $100 for the whole area. I want to see if I can get that property. I will show you something which confounds me. There is something which is very strange, and I will show it to you now. It's the, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Yeah, you can see it. We're looking at this area back there is the old, that used to be the basketball hoop, the hoop cam, and they have left it there since the launch. Nobody has come to set it up right or clear that area, make it look nice. They've just kind of left their garbage on the ground there. So I'm surprised about that. I would have thought that they would set up the hoop cam again and made some use of it, but no, they just kind of left it there, like a heap of trash. All right, we got some lift here going on. It's happening, guys, gals. Yep. They're moving the height of the lifting bar there. Yeah, I don't think I can help bring Wes back. Maybe I'll give it a shot, see if I can do something. All right, I think I brought Wes back as a moderator. See if he can chat now. He's been there long enough. That may have fixed it. We'll see. There's somebody else I want to make a moderator as well. Let me go check out here. Mule Skinner is now a moderator. looking for one more person. Okay, cool. So some of the key points I've spoken about today are: 1, SpaceX is a militaristic organization. 2, SpaceX has no soul. 3, the hoop cam is in a pile of debris for the last almost 2 months. I had some other things I want to talk about. I got to remember what they were. I also said that 5, if you want to hide something from being discovered, a crime or some, if you have some, what is it called? Something you want to keep hidden from everybody for a long time, you can put it in a low-level radioactive waste container and put one of those radioactive stickers on the side of it, and then hand it over to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and they will pack it away for thousands of years underground without looking in the barrel. So that's number 5, how to keep something hidden for thousands of years. That would be a good YouTube video. Imagine that. Filming something where you take a barrel, you put in whatever you want to put inside of it, and then you, maybe a time capsule, and you stamp a low-level nuclear waste on the side of it. Maybe you put some cameras on the inside, I don't know, see if anyone ever opens it up. And then you hand it over to the nuclear people, and post a video online after doing it. That'd be number 6. Yeah, okay, I remembered one of the 2 things I was thinking about talking about today. You know, some people talk about our bloodline is pure and all kind of stuff like that, right? And we know that the genealogy of a bloodline depends on what the person does. So epigenetics is a reality. So no matter what the bloodline is, what the person does while they're in that body has an effect on the genes that will be rampant throughout that generation once a person does something in alignment or out of alignment with the rest of the family. So I like to get on camera and talk about this stuff. We're here at SpaceX on June 10th, 2023. I'm a world-class meditator. I've experienced things that most everybody on the planet Earth will never experience. So I'm in the top 0.9999999. There's very few people on the Earth that will ever experience what I've experienced, and then even far fewer people that will ever live after experiencing what I've experienced. So I'm a high-class, not only world-class meditator, but I'm a galactic and universal. I'm the top of the top. So let's see. So Paul Espomacos in the year 2023. But so if we look at the fact that there is one consciousness throughout the universe, I could say one consciousness throughout the solar system, but one consciousness throughout the universe, just a one consciousness in all the different bodies, in every element throughout existence. And if there is a reincarnation of personalities into different bodies, so if you died, or if I died and went to another body, went into the afterlife, some people say, well, that was such a evolved soul that his time out of body in the afterlife, in between bodies, I mean, in between lifetimes, was going to be so short. The Tibetans talk about this, like right after they die, they'll reincarnate in a different body, because they're so, their knowledge of the other dimensional states of existence is so advanced that they don't need to spend a lot of time in the afterlife. They can just come right back into another body and start living somewhere else. So the Tibetans talk about that. They say, you know, so-and-so is the reincarnation of so-and-so, because they've already mastered how to move out of body. And so when you die, you're basically just going out of body. So when you die, and if you don't have any knowledge of the afterlife, or the astral body, the mental body, and all the other bodies, if you don't have any experience with that, then you're going to have to, once you die, you're going to have to feel your way around just as if you were a baby in the physical body. Babies don't know how to move. They haven't developed their muscles. So when you die, if you don't have any knowledge of the out-of-body states or other dimensional mental level, etc., you're going to have to flop around in the astral realm and in the mental realm and try and bring yourself together as a personality with enough clear boundaries so that you can move around and choose what type of pathways you want. If you haven't developed your muscles and you die, you're just going to be like a jelly. You're going to be like a jelly ball of energy and mixed up baggage. But if you've developed how to move yourself out of body and form your thought out of body, and develop your personality. Personality is like you can have, I just go with the flow, and I'm cool, I'm with everybody else. But when you die, you're not going to have any solidity, you're not going to have any form, because your whole personality is based on sand. You don't have any strength to yourself. You're just a flop of all type of, whatever flow comes through, your astral body will just flow in every which direction. So when you get out of body, or when you die in between lifetimes, you're going to have to solidify yourself, whatever parts are congruent with the other parts, into such a form that you can choose another body to go into. But if you haven't done any practice or perfection or sharpening of the awareness while you're in your physical body, you're just going to be a blob when you die. But if you have perfected that, then you can choose what your next course is, whether you're going to go to a different star system, or you're going to go to a different dimension and incarnate there, or live a lifetime in a different form, in a different body, in that other dimensional state. Every dimension has its own set of bodies. So bodies in different dimensions are made up of the substance of that dimension. So there's infinite dimensions throughout the universe. So you can exist in almost any location throughout the whole universe, and not only at this physical dimensional level, but in any other subtle, other frequency vibration. So when people talk about, our lineage is pure, we have a bloodline and we only intermarry within certain bloodlines, etc. When you talk about epigenetics and you talk about reincarnation, then there really is no pure bloodline, because you're always having these other souls come into these bodies. So the type of personality or soul, if you're just looking at the pure physical level of bloodlines, you're missing out on all the other, because different genes can be activated or put into a dormant state. So it's not only the genealogy that's passed down, which a lot of women and a lot of earthy people just focus on the earth, and they don't even have in their worldview the other effects on the activation of different genes or chromosomes. So if you're just looking straight from the Earth perspective at genealogy, then you're missing out on the spin activation of different things. So if you're looking at bloodlines, you're going to be totally wrong, because you're always having these other personalities from all the locations throughout the universe come into these different bodies. So if you think everybody in your bloodline is along a certain way and very pure, you're 100% wrong, because there's always other personalities coming into these bodies from all over the universe. So unless you can sift away and block any other being from coming into that body who isn't from a certain Earth location, who died in a certain and exited from a certain body and came back into that body, if you only limit the babies that are reincarnated into the next couple baby, if you say we as a couple only want to have babies from this lineage, and we're only going to choose from people who have died in the past to come into that baby, and then our genealogy will be perfect. Well, that is a possibility, but there's always the chance that that personality, after they died, went and lived a life somewhere else and kind of made their pattern not incongruent with your Earth perspective, so that when that personality, after they died, lived that other lifetime, came and reincarnated into that body of that bloodline family, they will activate other genes which are not congruent with your worldview, or chosen worldview. So the whole idea of bloodlines it's a dark and incorrect field. It's not correct. So you guys are basically wasting your time trying to track bloodlines. Hey, Liam. That's a good question. Well, what about Transcendental Meditation, TM? Yeah, well, if the destination, if the achievement is the same, no matter the religion that you choose or the practice, or if the ultimate destination of experience is the same, it's kind of like sugar. If someone wants to get that sugar high, they can eat sorghum, they could eat sugar cane, they could eat grape juice. So it doesn't matter what type of practice you do. If the ultimate thing is to get that sugar high, then it doesn't matter what you eat or what practice you do. If you want to get to the ultimate, you got to drop all the other stuff and just be in the experience. Because the ultimate experience is not when you are a personality within the universe. As long as you have a view of something else, then you're not there. When you, as far as the ultimate experience is when you don't exist as an individual anymore. When you are the universe, you're not perceiving the universe. So when you are the universe and throughout the universe, and there is no you, when there's no separation between your perspective and the universe, then the ultimate has been achieved, experienced. So all the different practices, TM, Hindu stuff, Chinese stuff, all the different practices are trying to get to that ultimate level. And as long as you're holding on to your religion or your practice, you're not there yet. So the religion or the practice, it's just to get you. It's like if you want to cut, if you have like a hacksaw and you want to cut a metal lock, you kind of you kind of got to go over the same place, and you have to hold the hacksaw in a certain way so that it begins to cut into the metal of the padlock or whatever, right? So if you have a hacksaw and you want to cut a metal lock or cut into a piece of metal, the hacksaw is going to start going like this on top of the metal, unless you have something that can hold it in the same spot. So the religion is kind of like, or the practice is kind of like something to hold that hacksaw in place so it can start to cut the metal, you know. But after you start getting into the groove, you don't need the thing to hold it in place anymore. You already got the groove, and so you just got to keep cutting at the metal with a hacksaw. But yeah, so you don't, you know, the different religion or practice is just to get you into the experience of knowing what it is to be in a expanded state of awareness. And once you start to experience what it is to have pulsations of energy, or a cocoon effect, or a flow of energy, or an opening, once you start to experience that a few times, or at least once, then you know that it is possible, it's a possibility. And then after that, it's just about you doing different practices and trying all different types of things to see if you can experience that opening, pulsation, or connection, or something again. So the different religions, the different practices, at the end of it, you can experience that pulsation without doing any rituals or any practices. It's just just to get you going. But to really go into it, you got to let go of the books and the words, and just got to be in the experience. Yeah. They are preparing to lift a big tank off of a truck. We are at 95 minutes into the stream. 95. What I can also say is that while women tend to be more into the earthy and men tend to be more into the cosmic, it is not a given across every man or every woman. There are many women who are of more of the cosmic, and many men who are more of the earthy. So it's not a guarantee, but in general, in 2023, women have more births. Women are focused on the inward. I mean, building a child inside the body is pretty earthy, so it keeps you here and now. And the men are more up in the clouds and thinking about different stuff than women are thinking. So that's why, in general, women are more earthy and not so keen on becoming spiritually aware, and men are more have more of an opportunity to risk their life and experience a near-death experience through work or something else. A lot of women, it said, also experience that during childbirth also, so they have some kind of communication with the baby or something like that. So the statistics are still out, but in general, I would say, as a man, not knowing too much, I would say women are more on the earthy side of things, and they're not so aware of the cosmic. So if you're influenced and raised by a woman, there's a good chance that you'll be very earthy as well, and not so knowledgeable about the cosmic. So that's where it's good to have a guy or a man raise you as a baby, and it's also good to have a womanly influence as well. When you're raising a child, you got the female or the earthy influence and the cosmic influence. If you just have one, then that person or individual or baby may grow up to be more along the earthy or the cosmic, but they may miss out on the other side of it too. So you can do very well in the earth, but if you want to be a cosmic as well as an earthy being simultaneously, then it's good to have both influences. Rudolf Steiner wrote a lot about that a while back. Over 100 years ago, Rudolf Steiner was talking about these things. I will do an intermission here and say we do have access to the field around the launch site here. This is an advertisement, and there is plenty of debris from the launch pad all behind this whole area that I can go and get to collect. If you'd like to buy some, we got an eBay store in the description, and you can check out the link below if you'd like to get some of that. Let's see. If you're interested in learning more about the out-of-body states and stuff like that, there is an organization that I used to pay like $2,000 a year for, called the Monroe Institute, and they used to charge. Before the whole COVID thing, you used to be able to go to a week-long workshop at the Monroe Institute, where I used to live in Virginia. I lived just down the road from them, and they have online courses now too. There was a course called the Gateway Voyage. It's like a 6-day introductory course to meditation using sound vibrations inside with headphones. You would wear headphones, and that would put you in different expanded states of awareness. It's a very scientific approach to spirituality and meditation. And if you would like to experience some immediate effects of that type of thing, you could look on YouTube for free for the word Metamusic, 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 and they're different snippets or tracks of music that people have uploaded to YouTube with binaural beats embedded in the audio. And if you're wearing headphones when you listen to this Metamusic, you can experience what it is to have a vibration inside of your brain. And if you get used to that vibration, you will prepare yourself for when it happens to you naturally when you're not listening to the music. And it will allow you to experience expanded states of awareness. It'll help open up your energy centers in the body and stimulate your emotions, and it'll be a good thing. It'll be the beginning. If you haven't already experienced anything spiritual or soul, filled with soul, anything that stirred your soul, a lot of people are, I guess, so ingrained into a way of living their life that they're on automatic, just going about things automatically, and they've never experienced the expansion of the soul, S-O-U-L, around or outside of the body. So if you have something which stimulates your soul in a way that you haven't experienced before up to that point in your lifetime, then you'll notice that there was something different that happened. So out of the automatic and something that stimulates the soul, a lot of people, they've incarnated into a body and they've been taught certain things and then never looked outside of the way they've been taught. So their soul kind of goes to sleep because it hasn't experienced any opportunity to do something special or different. So when something comes along and awakens the soul a little bit, it's always there. It's like a sleep in the body, and the mind is kind of in control of the soul. So the soul has become obedient to the rhythms and patterns of the beginner mind. So once the soul kind of awakens up and expands beyond the pattern of the mind that's controlling it, then there's an opportunity, if the mind becomes curious about what just happened to the soul, for the soul to have amazing stuff happen. And that's what some of this meta music and stuff from the Monroe Institute and other things that are created along those lines have the opportunity to awaken the sleeping soul. All right, it is raising up. Look at that. I was in the way. All right, they're moving it over the tank now, moving it to our left. One of the cool things about when you start, yeah, I'm gonna let that sit in, sink in, little bits. Even though, yeah. We got a lot of dust out here this morning. It's hard to watch in the direction of the area that we're viewing. You guys have a better view than I do because I'm not able to watch in that direction. It looks like they might have each end around the tank right now. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're going to tighten those straps too much. They might just leave them loose, and then once they lift it up, it'll lift up. So I think I'll talk more about the bloodlines. I'm not sure how much power we got left here on the phone, but I can just let it ride and see where we're going to end up. Something I noted yesterday was that in the UK they have kings and queens, right? And I think even all the different Australia is owned by the UK, and there are many other locations that are owned by the UK, right? Or governed by the Queen, etc., or the King. But here in the United States, our government is like our Queen or our King. Here in the United States, what is it called? I gotta think what I wrote yesterday. Yeah, I did write it on Twitter. You can check there. I'm not sure what I wrote. There is like a line of thinking and a saying that those who can't share what they have are kind of slaves to what they have, but those who can share what they have are kind of free. There's a lot of dust out here. That's why I'm not going so fluid with the words here. All right, they've brought it down to maybe get a tighter grasp on the tank. Wonder how high they're going to lift it. It's important to realize that beyond information, beyond the mind, beyond information is the being, B-E-I-N-G. Beyond thought is being. So if a society is solely based on information, then it's missing out on the foundation of its existence. Beyond the mental level of existence within the universe is the being. So for those who would like to solely base their society around information, they miss out on the essence, the foundation of what it is to exist within the whole universe. So those people who solely look at information have existential issues, and they bring up things like illusion and simulation. Those are the people that will be looking to replicate what it is to be human within a robot, because they miss out on the 95% of what it is to exist within the universe. So a society built on information without having being as its foundation will forever fall on its A.S. It's only the inexperienced people that think such things, and the least adventurous of the humans on Earth that think that society is solely based on information. But there are some who insist on that to be the case. These same people are the ones that deny anything such as intuition. When you ignore your sixth sense or your other senses, your spidey senses, and just rely on information, that's where the, things can get messed up. And if there are politicians who like to do a lot of cocaine and other things which get them feeling very powerful and thoughtful and knowledgeable, it may just be the substance or stimulant that they're taking, which is giving them a sense of power feeling, when in truth it's cutting them off from their intuition or the larger being that we are, and it's going to mess things up. So it's important to realize and to recognize that the majority of what we are is beyond the thought, beyond the level of thought, and thought is really just a servant to being, B-E-I-N-G. The being is in charge, and it's incorrect to put the thought at the helm of being. It's also true that in order to reach the top in politics, you have to convince certain people to let you go forward, and you have to have a very strong personality. And as the majority of people who go into politics do not have a strong sense of connection with the universe, most of the time the people who are in alignment with the universe do not stick up within the crowd. They let the crowd go its own way. So the people who could have more of a connection and correct way of going forward with society, etc., are not the people who would be going into politics. So the people who go into politics are typically those who are looking to crash into walls, and so they are the people who will also push other people out of the way. So although we do have many people in politics, they're not necessarily the correct people to be leading all the other people. So no matter the place that people end up within the professional world, typically every position offers a experience or a lesson for that individual who has placed themselves in that position. So, and the same goes for people who've made their way into politics. If you want truth, you don't necessarily find it in politics. If you want to understand or to know what's actually going on, it's a good place to go. But if you want to find truth, politics is not the place to find truth. Unless you want the lower level of truth, which is within the realm of thought and action. And if you want to understand or to know what's going on in the realm of thought and action here on the earth, limited to only the five senses, then it might be good to go into politics. But they will not develop necessarily unless you're raised with certain traits and characteristics from being a younger kid, or maybe your parents treated you in a nice way so you weren't malevolent, and maybe you were treated nicely so you wanted to treat other people nicely. So if that's the way you ended up in politics, then it could have turned you into a good person. But it is also possible that many of the people who've made their way into politics, probably at least 50%, are of the malevolent nature. So if you want good policies from someone who has a satanic worldview, then you're 180 degrees wrong about what the outcome will be from that nice politician who is also satanic. Someone who gets a thrill out of other people's suffering, who gets a thrill out of stepping on others, is someone who might be of the satanic nature. So again, if you go to those people with a bowl and you ask them to do nice things to you, they will not do what you want them to do unless you are also sadomasochistic. And in that case, it would be very good to go to a satanic person if you are a sadomasochistic person, because while you ask for nice things, they will give you harmful things and it will please you. So there are those people out there who are sadomasochistic, and the satanic ruler will be the perfect match. All right, Michael Jeffrey, awesome. Upgraded to the Delta 4 Heavy. Awesome. Michael Jeffries, welcome. I am passing time and dropping thoughts along the way. I can't so much watch what's going on at the launch site because of all the dust, so I occasionally look back in that direction. Today would have been a good day to have some sunglasses with me or something to block the dust. I think I'm going to wait at least another hour for them to lift this thing, or until my battery dies. No guarantee on when it's going to happen. Nice, Nick. No, the Raptor actuator was not sold. The people offering it for sale, for me to sell, got a call from SpaceX or from somebody, and the item became not available, so I was not able to continue with the listing. I will say that there were over 15 people watching that item the day that it was canceled. So it was going to sell, that actuator was going to sell, but someone on the SpaceX side of things was not happy for that to be up for sale. So somehow, some way, I don't know who the actual person who owned it was, but I was making it available. I did not know it was not legal to sell it, or that it was not wanted to be sold. My understanding was it was at a scrapyard and it was being disposed of, and it was available for sale should I come forward with the money to pay for it. So that's why I had it up for sale. But no, it became not available, so I never had possession of it, but I was not able to continue with the listing. So yeah, for something like that listed at $8,000, if I had something I could sell for $2,000, I would sell it for $2,000. But if someone else has to make a considerable amount of money out of that sale, then I'm not getting $8,000. I'm getting much less. So that's why it was priced so high. There's another view that could be gotten on this from the dune side of things. I'm sure they have a good view on the other side, but I'm not currently situated over there to be able to get the shot from the back there. The wind would work with me in that case if I were standing on the opposite side of the launch site. On the filming from the opposite side would be a good thing. We're currently 2 hours into the live stream here. 2 hours. This is a marathon live stream here. Cool. maybe in about 80 years, the rest of the people here at the launch site will know some of what I know and some of what I've spoken about here. It may take another 80 years before the majority of people here at the launch site have any interest or any knowledge about what I've spoken during this live stream. 80 years. So that means either they'll figure it out while they're alive, at the end of their life, or sometime after they've died, they will figure it out. What I've spoken about here is and was, in fact, 90% true. 99% true. Maybe I'm off a little bit, but the majority of it's 1/quadrillionth of 1% incorrect. But the 99.9999999 correct, 100% correct. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, there you go. But if you're sitting in your beanbag, on your beanbag, wherever you're sitting or standing, or maybe you're in your car, or maybe you're in the supermarket shopping, 99.99999% correct. Of course, that minute amount that I am incorrect is mostly about, that's the part that deals with SpaceX. That little 0.00000000001% that I'm off and incorrect is that little part which deals directly with SpaceX. Everything else I've spoken about as far as the different bodies and the bloodlines and everything else is all true. It's a hot day out here. Yeah, so there is another channel which has the video on it. So I'm gonna get out of here. You guys can watch the other channel. Thanks. Have a good day. I'm gonna go eat something and sit down in a nice, comfortable chair. Check it out. There's some other channels out here with good footage. Take care.